Hello and welcome to the Listening Post's unboxing channel on YouTube. Today I'm unboxing the largest floor standing speaker in Paradigm's Premier range, their Premier 800F. This wonderfully elegant speaker is, it's probably been 40 years in the making as far as the R&D. It's showing trickle down from some of their personas, their flagship stuff. It's seeing cabinet design and reflection management that so many other manufacturers choose to ignore, right in a very, very aggressively priced floor standing speaker. Now, this range is made in Canada. Wonderful to see. The packaging and other things like that is very plain. We're not going to dwell too much on them. So they're sold in pairs. They're packed in each one speaker per box. So we'll get rid of that one and concentrate on this. Now, before I continue, it's worth mentioning, like most of the Paradigm range, they have a message just on the top saying, "Stop, please open them from underneath." So that's the first thing we're going to do. Is just roll these over, stand them up, and open them from the top. Now, they are taped with a factory sort of paper tape. It's sort of a glue-based tape, so you do have to run the craft knife across the whole surface to be able to get access to it. They are taped and stapled, so the very first thing you need to do is get rid of these staples. You don't want to scratch yourself, that's the first thing, but most importantly, you don't want to damage your speakers with some sharp edge. So, looking at it, you'll see some information about how to unpack them, and an accessory pack. Now, the accessory pack includes both rubber feet and spikes, giving you the advantage of being able to put this on a hard wood or tiled surface with ease, or take advantage of the spikes, putting them through carpet and keeping them level. There's a little bit of information about protecting the product and a bilingual manual inside a Ziploc bag. From this point, you've got a couple of options. The first is to remove the polystyrene, and the second is just to do the box. Now, today, what I'm going to do is place it down and leave it in the polystyrene for this aspect of it. And take the entire box off the speaker. Now, you'll see that Paradigm have opted to put some cardboard protection in the corners to ensure that there's less likely for impact damage and other things like that across the seams. Let's be honest, these are going to be manhandled in their transition to you and us, and so adding these little things are an important element of ensuring that they arrive in one piece. So some of them are taped in place. Now, at this point, it's relatively straightforward to get rid of the moulded polystyrene top, and then get to rocking the speaker backwards like this and just giving it a little bit of a lift out of the polystyrene. For larger speakers like this, ideally you'd have a friend give you a hand, but if you can't, obviously just put your knee or foot underneath to be able to take the moulded foot part of the polystyrene packaging away. Before we look at the speaker though, I'm going to pause. Each are packed with a huge grill. The scale of the speaker and the scale of the grill, of course, are an element of how big this speaker is. The grill is acoustically transparent. If I turn it round for a moment, hopefully the camera catches the fact that the tweeter has a cutaway in this section here, ensuring that the tweeter can breathe as best as possible into the environment. You'll also see an elaborate number of magnets, or at least in behind these foam pads there are magnets to hold it on. The foam pads ensure that the magnet can't damage over time, scratch or something the front surface of the speaker, yet do a wonderful job to slam and lock this in place so that it can't rattle or chatter. So you see, all of those design elements have been wonderfully thought about. From this point, it's relatively straightforward as far as getting the speaker out of the bag. The first and easiest is simply to sort of fold the bag up off the front and then again off the back, and then take the bag off. It should take one of the polystyrene paper pads on the top, revealing the speaker, and of course the second one, easy to get rid of here. Now firstly, before I go into the speaker itself, I wanted to show off its wood grain. The speaker range is available in white, this sort of dark walnut, and a gloss black. It's a lovely contrast to the plastic panelling used for diffusement, and this wood grain is stunning. It's also wonderful should it be in a home theatre environment, because it's relatively muted and not as glossy as far as reflection from things like televisions or projector screens. Okay, so looking at the speaker. Firstly, the tweeter. The tweeter is recessed, and this shape and curve is anything but accidental. Every element of the curve and disbursement has been extremely well thought out through the process of manufacturing and a design. The tweeter in behind is protected by this disbursement plate. There are microscopic little wee holes, tiny ones towards the centre and larger ones towards the outside, to manage the disbursement of high frequencies in the room. This approach has been emulated in the mid-range driver beneath, with a plastic cover over the front to again manage the disbursement of the mid-range into the room. Any manufactured or man-made driver has imperfections as far as how it may create noding across its surface, and this is managed brilliantly in a physical way with the cover that you see. Again, tiny little holes towards the centre, gradually getting larger, curved in its orientation, and then disbursement into small holes, sort of circular holes around the edge. The speaker is then complemented with two parallel bass drivers. This uses a reverse annulus, a striking look, but also a very important element of its performance. The annulus or surround is utilised, of course, to hold the speaker driver in place, but its design ensures that at no point is it going to influence negatively the potential bass response of the speaker itself. With two of them here and the physical size of this speaker, it gives you an implication of the prestigious sound that this can deliver. Ideal for big scale music, also ideal for big scale home theatre as well, and being able to do the two jobs is a relatively unique approach, and Paradigm have done it beautifully. Looking further down, we see a relatively simple front and then a Paradigm logo. Pausing, you'll see slightly outrigger feet. That's to ensure that the speaker is relatively stable, and of course that's where the spikes and rubber inserts can be added if required. Tilting the speaker forward, I want you to have a look at some of the other design elements, and please hang around for all of the photographs that I'll take of these speakers to show these off and highlight them as best as I can. Firstly, you'll see that this is an almost wing-shaped design, and the top surface is curved. The curved front, the curved top, and the wing shape ensure that Paradigm is managing all of the reflection of sound off the surface of the speaker as best as it possibly can. For obvious reasons, when you've got sound coming out towards you in a wave shape, that reflection off the surface better be managed properly, otherwise you're going to end up with a negative sort of effect within your room. So the curves and the plates that they've added to ensure that these curves can be introduced cost effectively means that this price fighting speaker sounds much better than it should for its price and budget. Again, beautiful design to see. Spinning around and again having a look at that wood grain, you'll see a ridge. That's a change in shape, and again that's designed to manage the reflection within the room. It tapers towards almost wing shape. Looking at the back, it's relatively boring but hugely functional. Firstly, the top half of the speaker is absent of any port. The tweeter and midrange are semi-isolated within the design of the cabinet, and the large port enables the two bass drivers to breathe appropriately and its airflow managed internally in the speaker. Looking down further, we have the Paradigm Premier logo. It's an embossed sort of sticker, sort of rubberized, and two sets of binding posts enabling you to use by wire, single wires, by wire or by amp, depending on what you might require. At the base of this crossover network we have an emulation of the serial number and other information. It's worth noting that these 5-way binding posts have a bridging clip obviously connecting the two. You can remove that for by wire or by amplification. You'll also see coloured plugs enabling the introduction of banana plugs once you've removed those things. Removing them is relatively straightforward. Typically just use your fingernail to do so. Okay, so looking again at its side and its beautiful wood grain, and then once more just at its front for a little bit of a pause, because this beautiful floor standing speaker, the Paradigm Premier 800F, unboxed here at the Listening Post in Christchurch, New Zealand. Thanks for watching. If you want to see more, subscribe to our channel. Beer review, local brewery, Christchurch based, 3 boys, IPA, and a can. Like any sort of pale ale that pours kind of darker. It's lovely. Favourite bigger beer, by the way. Yum, yum, yum.